Welcome back, everyone. Today, Nicole and I are here at Epic Universe for early park admission. Now, we originally intended to do this video during previews, but we found out it really wasn't an accurate representation of how it's going to work, what the crowds are going to look like. And now we are at a point where we are a few days into the park being open, so we thought it would be a perfect time to come try early park admission for you guys, give you a video, see what we can get done in the first hour, and talk about maybe our strategy, what we would do if we were visiting in the future here at Epic Universe. We are recording a few other videos today, but for now, we are just focusing on the first hour of the day. I did see a sign over out in front, which is pointing out the rides that are going to be available, so things could change. Just go take a look at that. This is definitely unique. So it says early park admission today, and they're telling you what's available. So I wonder if this can actually change and they can determine what they want for EPA, add or subtract from it. Now, as you can see by the crowds, it is very busy right now. I think we should have gotten here just a little bit earlier. We will be okay, but I highly recommend getting here as early as possible for EPA and even park entry, as it does tend to get quite long for these lines to get in. So I would say if EPA is at 8, get here at like 7 if you can. We are headed in, all scanned in. Today was actually the first day that I had to scan my pass, which is interesting. I've never had to do that when coming into the park. Even during previews, I was actually really good, I think. But yeah, I've been in the system, but I guess today was a little different. All right, I'm waiting. There it is. We just saw it switch over to 8 a.m. Here we go. Let's see what all we can get done. Well, as you can see, this is the 8 a.m. rush into Nintendo. The line goes all the way back to the front of the park, basically. And now they are trying to check them here. This is crazy. Wow, look at this. Everybody is flooding in right now. Now again, I think the best approach is probably, if you're here early, Minecart Madness. I see a lot of people heading over to the left to go do Mario Kart. I'm gonna go check Minecart, but I'm gonna be honest with you as we get down here. Yoshi isn't even moving right now. I can't even see the wait time. It looks like they're approaching, letting you know that it's currently maybe down at the moment. Let's go see what's going on with Minecart. I'm seeing a lot of people leaving from Donkey Kong Country though. So I think if you are not one of the first few people in, now again, we did an 8 a.m. start because not everybody knows that you can actually get in a lot earlier. So if I was doing EPA as a normal guest, I would come in super early, but I'm giving this 1 hour window. But if I were to come in, I would try and be one of the first, like, I don't know, 100 to 200 people for Minecart Madness. So the line is here. I don't know if they're not letting people in or not yet. Let me go check. So the line starts back here, or at least this is where it goes to. I'm gonna go see how long this is, by the way. Based on the fact that I'm not seeing it run, makes me a little nervous. All right, so it's looking quite long, but this is what I wanted to point out. We are on a brief delay. Oh no. It's reminiscent of opening day all over again, or not opening day, but for our last EPA video. Now here's the thing. They are stopping them right here, which makes me think the line isn't gonna be too bad. Maybe about 30-ish minutes, hopefully, depending. But yeah, they're stopped right here. I am showing the brief delay. So I think this is a full commit.
Experiencing a brief delay in our operation at this time. We are going to move you guys forward and further into the temple to accommodate more guests in the line at this time. However, we are still experiencing a brief delay. We will try to keep you updated with any other updates that we have, but at this time we are still delayed. Once again, we will be moving you guys forward to accommodate more guests in our queue.
Well, there are people on the ride, which is good news. But yeah, we are in these switchbacks. We've been just moving the whole time. So I think at this point we should be okay-ish, I think. Except that one's empty, so now I don't know. And that one's empty. I don't know. If you look down at the ground, you can see, like, I think that would be like the knuckles, and that would be like the feet of Donkey Kong. Can you see them all over? I didn't realize that. I'd never been in this outside portion of the cube. But that's a lot of fun. Well, we've been stopped about right here. All right, we are waiting in line. We are delayed. Mario Kart is open at 75. Yoshi's is delayed. Our other rides are 5 minutes for the carousel, and I think it was 15. Oh, my eardrill is showing 5. That's weird. 15 for Stardust. Whoa. That is Battle of the Ministry showing 45. Something seems a little weird right now. I don't know if that's a glitch, but you can see it's 8:30. Park isn't open until 9. I don't know. I think we need to get out of line though, because we're on one of the delays here, and it just goes to show you, I mean, 2 of the 3 rides are delayed here in Super Nintendo, and I mean, we've been in line for almost 30 minutes now. Now again, the ride has been testing for a little while now, but it isn't coming up. And this is the big issue that you have been hearing about early park admission with Epic Universe. I think at this point in time, it is kind of hard to say that it's worth it, because again, we waited 25 to 30 minutes there. Granted, I mean, yeah, we could have chose Mario Kart, but that's posted 75, so I mean, we'd be going over an hour past EPA time to get the one ride done. And if that ends up going down, you're kind of in a unfortunate situation. So I don't know what's going on with the other rides being open, but like I mentioned, it's a very difficult situation with Nintendo. It feels like the rides here aren't necessarily super consistent at the moment. Donkey Kong, almost every morning I feel like has a delay, it feels like. But if you luck out and you can get in, I do think it is worth it. It's just, it's hard right now to say like coming over here and doing a ride right away is the best opportunity for EPA. So what I think we're gonna do right now is try and play some of the games. Hopefully those lines are a little bit lower, because we've seen those lines get a little bit longer throughout the day. So let's go ahead and do some games right now, and then maybe go to a portal. But the portals are kind of backed up too, and I'll explain that in a second. Well, it looks like this game is down, but you can see there's already a little bit of a line over here to play this game here. So I guess a lot of people have the same idea, but we'll get some coins while we're in here. There we go. All right, let's do better than last time. Good luck. All right. Oh no! Oh no! Whoa!
I freaked out. I freaked out. You toad. Not bad.
Not my best work, but that's okay. A few more coins for the road. What do we got over here? Mario. So this one's working in here. We could try this, I think. I think if there's a key, that means you're getting a key from it. I don't know if there's a key one though. Let's keep on keeping on. Well, that was a lot of juice. Oh yeah, people are over here. So a lot of the ones outside, they said, were down. So the lines for the ones that are working for the keys are much longer. So a lot of people are actually going in there. But this little like cubby, you can't really tell, but this is actually one of the rooms as well. So when you come in here, it's like this tight little room. You got one of these blocks here for some coins. But if you actually come back this way, there's another game, much less of a line. That should give you your third key.
That was legitness.
That was legitness. Yeah, the family in front of us couldn't get it. We did so good. I know.
They're like 4 rounds.
We did pretty good, I think. All right, well, we have our third key, but we are on a brief delay. Well, unfortunately, a lot is down here once again. Now, it's not every single day that this happens, but again, brief delay for the keys. We do have our 3 keys, so I'd love to go do it, but that's down. They were telling us pretty much all of the outside keys are down. Some of the inside ones are fine. Still Yoshi's on a brief delay. Still Donkey Kong on a brief delay. It's 60 minutes currently for Mario Kart, which wouldn't be bad, but at this point we have 10 minutes left of EPA. We really haven't gotten anything done other than played a few games, because I thought we'd be able to at least get more of the outside games done and get like more keys and do Bowser's Challenge a few times. But yeah, kind of a dud so far. So my thought is, let's go maybe do like either the carousel or Stardust and at least kind of go get on something in the next 10 minutes, hopefully. We're gonna come do Constellation Carousel. Funny enough, this line stays pretty low almost the entire day. And then as soon as night comes around, it just like keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. It's up to like 45 minutes in the evening. Obviously, is a little bit of a better ride in the evening in my opinion. But we're gonna go do it right now. Well, it's a 5-minute wait because we just need to make sure we get on something during EPA. I think we might be the only ones on this next run. Unless somebody comes in. Which one are you gonna go for?
We're waiting or we're riding right now?
No, we're waiting. You said wait by the ones that say enter. Which one are you doing?
I kind of want the bear.
The bear?
What do you think?
That's Ursa, right? Ursa Major?
I have no idea any of the Constellation.
That's like one of the only ones that I actually know. I don't know what I'm gonna go for. What did I do last time?
Did the Phoenix or the Peacock or?
Oh, we did one of the sit downs. That's right. Yeah, I think we did like the Phoenix. That's right. I think I'm gonna do maybe like a rabbit or something. I am year of the goat, so here we go. We're gonna go find a goat. There is at least one, I think, or a ram/goat is how I think they go about it. So I'm gonna do that. Now I heard that the bright lights that are on here, they actually line up to the actual constellation that they are when you're looking at them. So like if you look at the actual pattern, it's supposed to be the one that you would see in the sky. I guess the easiest one is probably this peacock. You see those like white lights. So I think like those white ones are the actual constellations in the sky, which is kind of cool. All right, we have to go in. Oh, I think they're doing the entry show maybe? Oh, people are on hiccups right now. What the heck? All right, so yeah, definitely I feel like the park's like starting to open. All right, I am on the ram here. Oh no, it's a little scuffed up there. And over here, gotta do a little paint job. The kid seatbelt? Oh, you're on the wrong one?
I was like, wow, that's a kid.
Yeah, you can see all the fountains going. This is kind of cool. They're all going off right now. I love the music. I love the fountains. Ah, so beautiful. But that's okay. You know what? We're here. We're getting on a ride. It is time for the Constellation Carousel. So this is what I was telling you about here. So I think these bright stars make up the actual constellation. Yeah, okay, see how it's like lit up on this side? So I think that's supposed to be like the actual constellation in the sky. This is a good one. 100%. DJ one. Yes.
Say what?
Remix. Oh, we get to go backward. This is the best one for sure. You gotta get one of these. You gotta keep riding until you get this one. So it is 9:06 now. We have ridden the carousel, waited way too long for Donkey Kong before we diverted. Got a few games done inside of Super Nintendo.
Got my third key.
We did get Nicole's third key, which is also great news. So now we can play the game. Unfortunately, couldn't play the game because it was on a delay. So again, it's one of those weird situations where I just don't know at this moment how worth it is to do early park admission for Mario specifically. I feel like the past times that we've tried to do early park admission for Mario, we've had the same problems. Today, I was hoping it wasn't gonna be that problem, but unfortunately it was. I think your best bet is to honestly go to one of the other worlds. Go camp out the other worlds. I would do the stuff here inside of like Celestial versus trying to do everything inside of Mario, just because I feel like we failed with it so many times at this point. I just think you're better to focus on other things, either waiting out at one of the other worlds. Clearly they were starting the other worlds, were like opening early. So maybe they'll like start to like introduce that where like the last like 15 minutes or so, the other ones, I mean, don't quote me here because I don't know, but I mean, you guys saw it, the lines were up at like 8:45 or whatever it was. Yeah, like 8:30 actually. And then we saw people like on like Hiccups and Dragon Racers before 9. So there is a chance that the other worlds are gonna be opening up a decent amount early, and they didn't let the people in until 9. So those people that were running over there, they weren't the guests. I looked, they had a line over there too. So I don't know, I just think at this point, I don't think Super Mario and Donkey Kong over in Nintendo World are worth it, because unless you're one of the first couple hundred people anyway in the line, I feel like first like 200 for like Donkey Kong, and there's the huge risk that like, even if we were the very first ones in line, it was down, and it was still down at 8:30. I'll check in the app right now. Hold on one second. Okay, I just looked. Minecart is now at a 45-minute wait. Yoshi's still delayed. So they did get it up and running, but again, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those situations, like if it just came up, I don't know when it actually did end up coming up, but if it just came up and we were gonna have to wait another 45 minutes, it would be 9:45 before we got on the ride. Granted, that'd be if you're at the end, but you know what I'm saying. Like at this point, I just feel like you're better to not focus on Nintendo and head over there later. I find that Nintendo does this weird thing where it spikes really hard in the morning, and then by like the mid-afternoon, it kind of dips a little bit, but then it'll spike back up. And then in the evening, it's kind of hit or miss whether or not you can get on like at much lower weights. Right now, we're in a little bit more of a lull because they didn't like oversell tickets, which is great. So we're able to get on a lot more during the day anyway. But for like the normal season, I would just say try and find like the good time to go do Super Nintendo versus necessarily early park admission it. I really think you're better to try and maybe go over to Isle of Berk, go wait out for Ministry or even Dark Universe and try and rope drop that. I noticed that Dark Universe was the one land where things were not opening up before 9. Everything else had a wait time before 9 a.m. Dark Universe said opens up at 9 a.m. So I would probably focus on the other worlds or Celestial Park. But yeah, as of now, I just don't know if I would do Nintendo with early park. It just doesn't necessarily at this point seem worth it. It could change in time when things are a little bit more consistent over there. There's a lot of moving parts that are going on inside of Super Nintendo, so the odds are probably pretty low that everything is gonna be like working when you go in. You know, my guess is you're gonna go in and at least something is going to be off just because again, there's so many moving parts. It's so like technologically advanced. So it's kind of the downside is you have to deal with potentially having brief delays, closures, etc. So yeah, as of now, Celestial I think would be a good bet. Waiting out a portal would be a good bet. Maybe playing the games, but even the games being down was kind of a miss. I was expecting to at least get some keys, play the Bowser Challenge and do some of that, but the games that were working had decently long lines already because there was only a few that were up and running. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what your thoughts are. We can try this video again if you guys want. This is the second time that we're doing it. The first video, we ended up diverting it into another video where today it's like, well, I want to make sure like we give you the legit full hour experience. We got to do the carousel. We got to play a few games. And that was kind of it, unfortunately. So I think if I were to redo it, I would have just like done both the rides here inside of Celestial and then probably headed over to Isle of Berk and I would have just ignored Super Nintendo. But hindsight's 2020. You don't know if things are going to be up and running, and that is just kind of the nature of it. So I am back at home finishing editing, and I just wanted to have like a day or two of kind of like thinking about early park admission and my thoughts for Epic. Again, I've already kind of gone on the rant, but just to kind of consolidate everything, I think if you guys are doing early park admission, once again, I don't know if I would necessarily focus on Mario. I do think at this point it is a little bit of a gamble. You are taking the risk that one of the rides will go down. I very rarely see Carousel or Stardust being down in the morning. They have pretty dang good consistency in my opinion. So I think you could do both of those rides in the first hour and then some. I do think the games, if they are not down, could be a good opportunity too, because you could get a lot of games done, get a lot of keys, do a lot of the stuff. But again, I don't know what causes things to be down versus not, because it wasn't a weather thing, because if it was a weather thing, we would have had no issues with Stardust, and Stardust was open all morning. And then like I said, the other areas of the park were open, which was so weird. So I almost feel like if you're able to go into any of the other worlds earlier, I would say you like rope drop Constellation Carousel or Stardust, then do the other, and then head over to one of the other worlds. And I would just kind of ignore Super Nintendo at this point. Super Nintendo, it is busy all day. It is one of the lands that I think has the most crowds all day long, and it is consistent all day long. I know that Ministry has decent crowds, but a lot of that is the draw to Battle at the Ministry. And if that ride is at like 300 minutes, then I mean, you're not gonna wanna deal with that. So when it starts to drop, sometimes people flood over there. But I would just say, yeah, at this point, focus on, in my opinion, Celestial Park, and then go over to one of the other worlds. That's gonna give you the most like bang for your buck versus trying to do Super Nintendo, unless you wanna take the gamble and you're one of the first like 300 people in that land, that you could go rope drop something like Donkey Kong. I find Donkey Kong tends to have longer waits than Mario, so I would say doing that one first is more beneficial. Plus, you do have single rider options with Mario when it is up. So I would say that is kind of like the one thing I would say is if you're gonna rope drop one of the two rides, I would go for Donkey Kong, but I've seen Donkey Kong being on a brief delay or having delays early on versus Mario Kart. Both of them have had brief delays before and longer delays in the past, but I have seen Donkey Kong be a little bit more consistently on delay versus Mario Kart. Hopefully you guys were able to get some good information for your trip to Epic Universe, and you guys can make whatever decisions you want for your early park admission. I do think if you can do everything in Mario before your hour is up, I still think it's super worth it. I just have not had any good luck. We have also done it off camera before, twice for early park admission, and we have not had any success with Nintendo. I think we could have gotten significantly more done focusing on other things. We tried it again and it didn't work. If you want to see us try this for a third time, we do have another stay in June that we can try it for you guys. If you want us to try that one more time and maybe use a different strategy, we can. Let us know in the comments. We will then try a different strategy instead of trying to force the Nintendo strategy that just is not working for us. I'm not saying it doesn't work for everybody, but for us, it currently just doesn't work. We're not able to get the things that we want to get done. Other things in the park I think we could really utilize, especially if those lines were accurate and people were riding them at 8:30. That means you could get a lot of rides done before 9 a.m. in my opinion. Either way, hopefully this video was very informative for you guys and you guys were able to get some good information out of it. If you did enjoy today's video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for hanging out with us here at Epic Universe and now the backyard. And thank you so much for being here.